Hi everyone, I'm Tony with Harper Therapy and I am here with
Alina, again.
and we are on week 3 of self-compassion.
The self-compassion series.
Yes, the self-compassion train. We're
Right.
just chugging along.
Chugging along.
First week we kind of introduced it. Second week we were talking about where it stems from.
Right.
And so now this week we're talking about what do we do about it? How do we turn that down?
Right. So, we think about these voices in our head. Some are louder than others, and there's lots of different voices, right? Like, again, not crazy, but there are different voices.
I like that we just have to keep putting that disclaimer out. We're like,
crazy.
You're not crazy,
Yeah.
it happens.
But, like, if you really take a step back and look at what is happening in your head, you're going to see that there are different voices, like, just talking to you all the time. So, some are louder than others, and the way I like to kind of think about it is, like, if you're in a room full of people, there are going to be certain voices that are going to stand out over the others. You know, certain people who are just a little louder, or, you know, you're just going to hear them.
Or
right?
sometimes I know, like, I remember when I was younger, my mom, no matter where we could be in the loudest place, we would hear her keys.
Okay.
And we knew mom was coming.
Right,
so it was like, all right, you got to get it together. Mom's on her way. You could hear it.
I love
but
that.
Yes.
That's exactly. And it's like almost like your brain, your and your siblings' brains were like, like there was a pathway in your brain for the keys sound.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
So, part of the conversation that we want to have is like, how do you turn down the volume of the voices that are not so nice and turn up the volume of the voices that are nice? So I was going to tell a little story. A few weeks ago, I was out running errands, and, I have a 5-month-old, and with running errands with a 5-month-old is like nearly impossible, but
sport.
Yes, exactly. Had to get it done. I mean, she's an angel, but it was hard. So I went to the store that I'd been meaning to go to for a while, and it's a big store. We were walking around the store. It's not super close to my house, but not like super far. And I got all the things that I wanted to get. I had a gift card to the store. Everything was great. And we get to the register, and I had forgotten the card at home. And I was, yes. So here I have like the baby, the register, the cash register person looking at me, and me saying, oh, whoops, forgot it. So all my stuff, I had to put it aside. And like, honestly, real talk, there was no way I was going to get back to that store, right? So as I'm driving home, and this is stuff that I had been wanting to get for a while, as I'm driving home, I'm like, oh, how could I forget that? It was right there on the counter. Like I was just frustrated with myself, because
And then doing the what if scenarios of like, how could I leave my house without a credit card?
Yeah.
And what if something went wrong? And how was I going to do that? And I have the baby with me.
Exactly. And then the baby starts getting cranky and all of that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I drag my baby to this and blah, blah, blah. So, that voice immediately was loud. I noticed it immediately. And when I saw it, I was like, okay, wait a second. That's one option, one way of looking at it, right? The other option is, let me think what would I tell my daughter or a friend, what is that more compassionate way of viewing this situation? And what I said was like, listen, I'm a sleep-deprived mom, right? I'm doing the best I can. I wanted to get this stuff. Maybe I don't need that stuff as much as I thought I did. I'm going to get this little baby home. I'm going to get me home, and we're going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's all going to work out.
Right. So I really put my focus on that. And honestly, I was able to let it go within a minute, which is amazing, because that is something that I really could have used as ammunition against myself in the past. So one saying that I really like, and I've read it in a couple different places, but like, where attention goes, energy grows.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I like
so
that.
yeah.
Like
so if I'm placing my attention on the voice that is really beating me up and negative, then that is going to be what kind of gets bigger. And if I place my attention on that more compassionate, like, hey, no, like, it's all right, girlfriend, you did your best, then that's going to actually get bigger. And then that's what we call like changing the volume. It's kind of similar to like that old tale of like, which wolf are you going to feed, or which which bear. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I haven't.
Okay, so like basically like it's any type of animal. It's like kind of like an old fable, but basically like, are you going to feed like you have like 2 dogs or 2 wolves, like, are you going to feed the angry, kind of mean, ravenous dog, or you're gonna feed like the nice, sweet? Like, it's just like the one that you feed is gonna get more life and like healthy,
right.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah. And so as you're feeding this negative one, it's reminding yourself you're doing the best you can. And I think we talked about that maybe in week 1. And just trying to remind yourself that things happen.
Right.
Yeah, you're a sleep-deprived mama. You have a 5-month-old that sometimes you're managing all the things.
Right.
So
Right.
the fact that you're like sitting up and having a really good conversation
Yeah.
is impressive.
Right.
Like you got to give yourself credit where credit's due.
Exactly.
But in that moment, you didn't even want to give yourself credit for the fact that you
Right.
got to the store.
Right.
So
Good point.
yeah, being
Yeah.
able to remember the small victories really are the big victories.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And as we move forward next week in our final week, we're really going to talk about like how do we access that compassionate voice and what does it look like?
All right. So if this sounded good, if you know that you're struggling with some of that inner like hate really and it just it boils up in you, give us a call at Harper Therapy. Our phone number is 813-434-3639 and we'll see you next week.